All right, Cthulhu. All right, I believe I'm live here. As you see, this board is just absolutely massive. I mean, this is just a humongous board. Um, Justin's feeling absolutely horrible. This sickness has run through this house. I don't know what's going on, but everybody's been sick. And I seem to be the only one feeling well now. But I figured since I'm bored and I had nothing to do and my wife's watching Hallmark movies, that I kind of run through this and try to learn this. And I figure if we learn it together, it'd be a good thing. And that way, some of you guys can, see if you like this game or it's something that you want to invest in. I know it seems like there's a lot of fluff with it, but I'll tell you, just from when I was looking here, there's a lot of game here. So with Cthulhu Kitty right here with me, I figure it's just something good that we can kind of take a look at and maybe just run through a few turns as a single player, but just kind of run through some of the mechanics and some of the things that we do know and that we could possibly figure out here. It comes with this humongous, two humongous maps, and I ended up buying the Kickstarter edition with Stalingrad, so that's really kind of cool. You get these cards. I've got to figure out what these are for, so we'll figure that out too. Counters are as big as the counters that you get with, oh, come on, Cthulhu, let's stop. Um, Conquest of Heroes, Conflict of Heroes. They have these map edge board tokens, and I'll put them out right there. What they do is they give you, like in this particular scenario, this scenario that the cat blocks out half the, the map. Well, at least it gives you some scale as to how big the map is, right? Ugh, you are such a pain in the neck, I swear. I swear. Come on, off. Not you. Off. Yeah, well, that's just too bad. That's too bad. Save it for another day, young lady. Oof. I don't trip over everything here. Yeah, that was awesome. Dumb cat. All right, let's get this off the edge here and actually adjust the camera a bit. There we go. Yeah, a little earthquake there. And bring this over here. There we go. So you're just doing everything unconventionally today. All right, there we go. All right, so like I was trying to say, these map edge boards, the cat stacks on the map. Yeah, the cat's off board artillery or on board artillery. Um, well, the very first scenario here, Brandenburgers. August 5th, 1941, German Special Forces from the first company of the Brandenburg Regiment move head move ahead of the main advance to wreak havoc with the Soviet command structure. The commandos dress in Soviet NKVD uniforms to create confusion and fear in the Russian ranks. So the map coordinates, according to this, and let's get some of these charts off. They come with some nice charts. These are big counters and they're very detailed. I actually like what they did here. Very nice. All right, so let's just move this over here. Move that over there. Not a ton of counters. But this is only supposedly volume 1, and there's supposed to be more of it. Sorry, just joined. What's the game? It is called Old School Tactical, and it is the Eastern Front 1941 to 1942. It's a game that kickstarted a while ago, and I happened to get my hands on it, so I'm kind of interested in what goes on here. A, B, C, D, E, F. So essentially, they want you to go from the map coordinates are P, LMNO, P16, P28. All right, so I'm gonna have to turn this around. This is gonna be a great video. Like I said, it's kind of like having people over. You just kind of wing it. So, I mean, these boards are huge. I wonder why the thing weighs about 35 pounds. That's actually kind of better because everything's in your area so you can see it. All right, so what did I say? I said P16, map edge 1, P28, then, so you're only using this little section of the board. And then we go from, oops, I had it right. From P28, we're going to go to Z, which would be, oh, so it comes this way. V, W, X, Y, Z, Z16. Oh, wow, this is real small. Z16 to Z28. So what you're using is this section here out of this whole massive map. Maybe because this is kind of maybe the very first scenario in a training center. Sounds cool. I never heard of it. I don't really look at Kickstarter for war games. I don't look at Kickstarter, period. Period. So, control hexes. So we actually have some control chits here. And they want U20 and V18. So V18 is here, and U18. So those are the two control areas that they want you to capture. So, German units are elite. All German units may use smoke. Russian player sets up first. At the beginning of every turn, each Russian occupied hex rolls 1d6 to check for confusion. 4 to 6, the units behave as normal. 1 to 3, all units in the hex are confused for the turn. Place a used marker on the hex. Confused units may perform no actions and may only fire upon units which attack them. Confused units in the melee have -1 added to their attack roll. All forces are set up prior to rolling for confusion on the first turn. Off-board assets, none. German player receives 1 victory point each for eliminating Russian leaders. Hex V18 is worth 3 points at the end of the game. Hex U18 is worth 4 points at the end of the game. Highest total of victory and casualty points determine the victory. So 3 impulse dice for the Germans, 2 impulse dice for the Russians. Setup, turn 8, anywhere north of, okay, so it's a countdown of turns. Okay, so there's 8 turns. That's what I would assume. Enemy casualties, victory points, that's over there. Victory points, enemy casualties. impulse. Oh, turn numbers are over there. So it's 8 and it descends to 0. So let's see here. Huh. That's there. That's there. This is making sense. Somewhat. Okay. So we've got an idea what goes on here with this. We'll pull out the figures in a moment. First of all, let's read a couple things. There is a turn marker. So let's find that turn marker. Turn, turn. 2 turn markers. So we're going to pop those out. So if it is a 8 turn scenario, you put the turn counter on 8 and count down from there. Okay, well, there you go. So that would go right there. Seems pretty easy. This one is to represent any, if it was 22 turns or whatever. I guess there must be some huge battles in here. Extended play with impulse points, expands, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about that. Map 1 is spring, summer, and fall map. Map 2 is the winter map. Map 3 is a historically based Stalingrad map. Each hex represents 50 miles of real-world terrain. I swear, you think it was real-world terrain, the way it looks. Victory points. Okay, so we got a couple of victory point markers. So let's put those out. So we're going to put those out. Let's see what happens here. I'm not saying this video is going to be exciting at all. I did say that we were going to figure this game out, and I just figured, since I was bored, I would do such. Okay, so that goes off board, and that is on 0. Okay, seems easy enough. Casualty tracker, yeah, we can do that. We'll just put these all in a pile here without putting them on. Mounting losses. As casualties increase during a scenario, a player will take penalty and will be able to do less. Okay. Volume 1 of Old School Tactical simulates a small unit engagement on the Eastern Front of 1941-1942. You'll fight tactical battles with men and historical weaponry of that era. Sounds pretty cool, don't it? 50 miles, 50 meters? Yeah, something like that. I just said miles. Impulse system. Used in Old School Tactical represents an uncertainty of battlefield commands. The fluctuation of impulse points portrays poor communication, ammo shortage, and fear under the radar. So that's why, everything's left up. Your actions are determined by dice. It gives you a randomness of everything. Okay, this system can be frustrating at times, but it is also realistic. The fluid nature of the battle will also change your use of the impulse points. Very true. Play alternatively from one player to the other after the use of an impulse point or two. In general, an impulse point is used as any one of the actions performed by a unit, such as move, fire, assault move, rally, call in an off-board artillery, OBA strike, etc. At the beginning of every turn, both players roll dice to determine an impulse total. The number of dice rolled is set by the scenario. Yes, the Germans would get 3, and the Russians would get 2. For example, the German player has 3 dice to roll. A 1, 3, and a 6 are rolled. 10 impulse points are available for the German player for that turn. Impulse points are subtracted from your total on your impulse tracker as they are used. During play, a player may pass if his impulse point is less than that of his opponent. For example, the German player has 10 impulse points. The Soviet player has 4. As play switches to the Soviet side, the player passes and allows the Germans to go again. If you have no actions to perform, but you have an equal or greater number of impulse points than your opponent, then just removing an impulse point without performing then you just remove an impulse point without performing any action. The turn is over when both players have used up all their impulse points. Well, there you go. That makes sense. You keep on going back and forth. All squads are foot units and soft targets. Squads depiction by the illustrator of the two soldiers. Yeah, these are really nice looking counters, by the way. I want to find out what these do. Leaders. Leaders have no inherent firepower and may not attack other units on their own. In place of firepower on their counter is a number in a white circle. This is the leader's command range. Other units must be within this command range to get the benefit of leadership for rallying and spotting roles. Leaders do not assist vehicles. Leaders in melee have a firepower and defense of 1. Leaders do not get a +2 FP melee modifier when alone. They do not get. What's FP? Firepower. A leader may not carry or use any support weapons. SS leaders may only assist other SS units. Regular German leaders may only assist regular German army units. Russian commissars and guards may assist any Russian unit. Regular Russian leaders may only assist regular Russian army units. Excuse me. So max range, HE firepower, attack value on soft targets. Armor piercing. Okay, they're just showing off the thing here. Max range of a weapon. Okay. Defense value, crew, and foot movement. So, okay, those are just basic things. Alright. Alright, this really doesn't look like it's anything very hard. So the north, because we have a compass here, north is there and the south is here. Okay, so let's take a look at that thing again and let's see how this all pans out. Okay, gut check. Germans have a gut check of 6. Russians have a gut check of 9. Let's find out what gut check is. Cemetery, we're not worried about. Bogged down, we're not worried about. Movement. Each unit has a movement, has a number of movement points to be used. Basic movement. Units are limited to 2 actions per turn. Move, assault move, and fire actions. If a move and firing on a subsequent impulses, the move and fire modifier is applied. If firing first and moving on a subsequent impulse, the move fire modifier is not used. Designer note. The reason for not modifying fire in point 4 is that attack occurs with better firing positions and good targets, as opposed to point 3 where the unit is moving tactically, looking for cover and targets even when it's fired. After 2 action, the unit is marked as used. Rally, cover attempts, and spotting are not limited actions. The number of attempts by a unit on a turn are not limited. A used unit may still make these attempts with no penalty. Intensive fire special action can be performed by a used unit. After intensive fire, the unit is automatically shaken and can do nothing further for the rest of the turn. It can only defend itself in melee. Wow. See, so if you try to press it to go again, those boards, are those boards or is it paper map? It's boards. It's These are very thick boards. All these maps are very thick boards, which is impressive. I never have any problems with paper maps, but I will tell you this. I wish more games did boards. Hi all. Audio is a little for me. What? It's a little what? You can't hear me or something? Let me see. That's off. That's off. Should be good. Says I'm coming across strong. No? Okay. Eh, okay. All right. So, all right. Oh, we were going to look up gut check and find out what a gut check is. Gut check. Scenarios provide a gut check number for each side. It is the measure of morale of a troop, their spirit and willingness to fight. Any result of shaken or broken on the ICT or VCT requires the defending unit to roll 2d6 for a gut check. If the gut check number is number or higher is rolled, the unit passes and the shaken broken result is ignored. If the roll is less, the unit fails its gut check and the shaken broken marker is placed on it. Okay, that makes sense. It's hard to hear you. Huh, wonder why. All right, hold on. Let me see what I can do here. Maybe because I'm so far from the microphone, because this map is so large. Audio. Okay, it's on the camera. Let me see if I can raise it up. Settings. Audio. Doesn't give me anything to boost it. Did that help? I think that might help. Did that help at all? Does it sound louder? No? Hello? I gotta wait for everything to catch up now. Alright, once you guys catch up, let me know if you can hear me still. I'll move a little closer over here. See if that helps you. Okay, that helped great. Alright, just boost up the microphone a little bit. Alright, so gut check is basically what everything normal is. Okay, fire groups. Okay, may be formed by 2 units and their support groups. Fire groups must have an attached leader. All fire power factors of the group are added together and used against the same target. It costs 2 impulse points to use a fire group. Okay, that's good to know. We have no vehicles. We're not going to worry about that. What I want to see is when do these cards come into play? All right. boy, it says nothing about cards. Oh, cards, luck cards. Unless stated otherwise on the scenario sheet, one luck card is drawn at random from the deck by each player at the start of the game. Draw the card after the units have been set up on the board. The card is placed face down and not revealed until used. They are used during the course of the player's impulse and do not cost an additional impulse point to use. The player continues with his impulse after using a luck card. For example, during an impulse, the Russian player assault moves onto the German unit. He also flips his no quarter luck card, which provides +2 to his attack roll when the melee is fought. Luck cards are removed once they are used. Some luck cards may at times be reusable. In that case, your luck is bad. Oh, be unusable. Another option is to remove vehicle luck cards from the deck when scenarios involve infantry. These are field repairs, tank hunter, evasive maneuvers, rough ground, and gunner race. All right. Unit cards. There are also unit cards in here. So let's open this up and see what we got here. All right, this game, this really seems, I love war games, and I love a lot of the complicated stuff. The stuff that you have to basically, spend your entire life and, you know, and all that stuff. But games like this, where they kind of come back at you, then they give you that old Avalon Hill feel, where you could just open up a box, read 2 pages or so, and go at it. I'm talking old Avalon Hill. Okay, so basically, let's take a look here. Well, truck. Oh, okay, these are the vehicle cards. All right, so these are all Russian vehicle cards. And what makes it easy is instead of having to pick up the counter, you can use these cards. And these cards have all the units. So say we're using, oh God, a rifle squad. You have all the information right here. You don't have to, uncover any of the units. So it's actually really cool, to be honest with you. All right, so that's these. These are the German cards. All right. So we'll put these aside. That goes on there. That goes there. Okay, and okay, so these are the luck cards because they say luck on them, so they would just go right there. All right. So this is really interesting. Okay, so all right, let's go a little further here. Each unit has a number of movement points. Okay, it has movement. These movement you place on. Okay, gun move, no fire. Okay, everything is just. They have a chip that you lay on everything basically. Broken, shaken, immobilized, fired. When attacking, a player spends an impulse point and declares what unit is firing at which target, and if any additional weapon will be used. To attack, the target must be within the range of the attacking unit, and the attacking unit must have an LOS, line of sight, to the target. Okay. The range is the number of hexes from the firer to the target, counted along the most direct path, not counting the firer's hex, but counting the target's. When firing at a stacked unit, the target must be declared. Okay, so if there's stacked units there, you have to declare which one you're firing at. Okay, cool. Only snipers can target a leader when he is stacked with other units. Mm, that makes sense, doesn't it? Attached leaders must take a leader casualty roll when its unit suffers the effect of an attack. If alone in a hex, a leader may be fired upon by all units as per normal rules. A unit may use normal fire a maximum of twice per turn. Place a fire on the unit when firing once. Flip the marker to used after firing a second time. Intensifier. A used unit can use intensifier. That unit is automatically shaken. We said that. Intensifier modifiers are -1 to firepower. So if you're desperate, you could fire a third time. Leader casualty rolls. Attached leaders must roll each time its attached unit suffers a casualty or a morale effect in combat. If a unit is destroyed by X result or C result on the reduced unit on a reduced unit, roll 1d6 of 1 to 3, and the leader is also killed and removed off the map. On a d6, 4 to 6, he's okay. I mean, can they make this any? If a unit suffers a C and is reduced, which is a casualty, and is reduced, roll 1d6 of 1, and the leader is destroyed. On a d6, 2 to 6, he's okay. Oh, get off the table, will you? Or lay down right there. Stupid cat. Alright, so basic, that's a girl. Lay down. We'll lay right there. Cthulhu Kitty. Stupid tail. Here comes Cthulhu on the board. See, this is one of those weird war things. It's a -1 modifier for moving fire. There you go. Alright guys, sorry about that, but now you gotta deal with Cthulhu. Alright, the rest is basically melee. Melee combat takes place. Melee hexes may not be fired into by any other units. Units in melee are locked in and cannot do anything else. Melee hexes cannot be moved through and do not affect LOS of other units on the battlefield. After combat, all broken and shaken units are retreated to an adjacent hex. If they can't be, they are destroyed. This is a melee combat. This is a close quarter fighting and casualties are normally high. 1 melee per hex, per turn. All terrain and fortification modifiers are ignored in melee. Moving fire modifiers are ignored. Shaken units have 1/2 firepower and get -1 to their attack roll. Ouch. Broken units do not get an attack roll in melee. Stacking limits are as follow. So a max of 2 units, 2 leaders, and 1 support weapon per squad may be used. Attacks for each side are resolved simultaneously. So it's possible that all units may be destroyed. Each side adds up their defense number of all the units in melee and arrive at their total defense. Each side adds up their HE. What's HE? Oh, attack. Main gun value. Adds up all HE attack FP. So attack 1, main gun HE. Okay, attack 6, defense 4, attack 1, plus 2 secondary equals 3, okay, equals 3 FP, okay. Attack 1 and plus secondary, okay, that makes sense. Defense 4, attack of 9, defense of 8. They have 1 and 3, so that's 4. Defensive 5. Okay, so here's an example. A German Panzerkampfwagen 3F and a Pioneer are in melee with a Russian rifle squad and a sergeant. The German player total attack is 6 for the Pioneers, 3 for the PZ3, plus 2 melee FP modifier equals 11. Against the Russian total of 1 for the sergeant, 4 for the rifle. 11 minus 5 equals 6 FP. The German player attacks on a 6 plus FP column of the ICT against the rifle squad and then attacks the leader using the same column. The German player also gets plus 1 to each attack roll for having a pioneer in melee. The Russian total attack is 3 and plus 1, plus 2 melee modifier, FP modifier, equals 6. Against the German total defense of 4 and 4, 4 for the Pioneer, 4 for the Panzerkampf, for 8. So 6 minus 8 is minus 2 FP. The Russian player carries out 2 attacks at minus 2 FP column. Okay. The Russian also modifies this roll with a plus 1 because he has a leader. Alright, seems pretty interesting so far. Okay, so let's take a look at these units here and where they're supposed to come in. So we're going to pull out this scenario book for this little battle we have here. And what I'm going to do, I don't know if you guys will see it, that's the whole thing. Alright, let me figure this out here. So for the Germans, we have Lieutenant Schultz. Okay, so let's grab the Lieutenant. It's 242. And then we have a Sergeant. We have 2 Pioneers. If I can find one. 1, 2. 4 Assault. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Assault. 1 LMG. 3 grenade bundles. Wow. Where do we keep those? Grenade bundles. Oh, we got more here. Where's the grenade bundle? Oh, 1 satchel. I saw that before. And 3 grenade bundles, which are supposed to look like little hammers. Alright, we're looking for them. Boy, this is a fun video. I don't see any grenade bundles. Unless they're on the other side. Oh, really? Okay, they are on the other side. But they're just supposed to be these grenade bundles. Okay. That's weird because on the other side it says crew and it says captain. Okay. So use that and that. And we already got our satchel. I think we did. Huh. One satchel. Oh, I did. I put it over there. Alright, so now we'll just go over here, flip over this, and this should have another grenade bundle. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we leave this flipped over like that. Perfect. So we have everything that we need, and anywhere on the south, anywhere on south edge, map edge, you can put this together. So, okay. So we'll just put this together here. Let's see, what do we have here? So we have a grenade bundle, we have an LMG, We have a sergeant. So let's put this here. 1, 2, 3. LMG. 1 satchel. Satchel explosives. We have 4 assault units. So we're going to put the assault units by themselves. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to add, we have 2 pioneers. So we're going to have a lieutenant with 1, a sergeant with another, an LMG with 1 assault. Pioneers will get the satchel, a bundle, and we'll get the 2 bundles, 1 here and 1 there. Alright, looks like we have our whole little community here. So what we'll do is we'll come in on the south side of the board. We'll come in there and there. And that guy's on his own. There and there. So we'll put the satchel underneath so we know they're pioneers. Oops. And this one here. Seems pretty easy, right? Straightforward. Now let's put together our Russian group. Anywhere north of number 24 hex line. Anywhere north of the 24 hex line. So you can come in right here. Wow. That almost doesn't anywhere north of the 24 hex line. Okay. That's fine with me. So we got a BA-20. Here we go. We have Captain. We have Sergeant. We have 8 riflemen. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 3 shock troops. 1, 2, 3, and 1 HMG. Okay. So what do we do with this mess? So it says anywhere north of number hex line 24. So anywhere north of here. I think they mean from here. Yeah, because anywhere north from here. Huh. So let's check one thing in the rule book. Now we'll put our boys down and we'll see what happens here. We'll try to figure this out. Figure that. Oh, okay. Here we go. So, firepower, range. Okay. Defense, movement. Okay. All right. So, seems like hex is worth 3 points. During play receives 1 victory points. So if we just go and grab those control points and try to hold on to them. Okay. So we got a Russian rifle team. We got actually 8 of them. Kind of need to stack these a bit. Captain, a sergeant, 2 rifle teams, 2 rifle teams. Shock. Maybe we should put this guy in the vehicle with a shock troop. Sergeant and shock. Rifle. Rifle, shock, rifle. Pop the rifles. Give the shock troop the HMG. And 1 shock troop on its own. Yeah, it seems about as good as anything. What do you guys think? Alright. Firepower range. Let's take a look at some of these terrain charts. Next thing we want to do is pull out these dice. There we go. See why they call it old school tactical. Very simple, very easy. Airstrikes. No, I'm not worried about that. Combat table. Adjacent targets +1. Moving fire. Okay. We have that there. I'll just go sit on those hexes there. I think that's what I'm going to do. So if you have to be there, +24. Go here with the vehicle on the road. 2 rifle here. Captain here. Shock troop. Oh, gotta be 24, 24. North of 24, okay. Be there. Be in the woods here. Actually, I'm going to use the HMG. And here, as well as here. Alright. If you're going to back up those guys and try to hold on to that thing, they'll turn 8. Which is going to be hard. But the thing is I have to roll on that chart because it says for the scenario that I have to do a confusion check. At the beginning of each turn, each Russian occupied hex rolls 1d6 for confusion. That's awesome. Be confused. I'm trying to not be confused by these rules. Alright, shaken. Rubble. Captured, reinforced, control. Controlled, okay. Mobilized, broken. They don't have one for confused. Confused. We have used, just not confused. We need some of these fired and moved things. So put those over there. We need a couple of these shaken things. Okay. there. Not worried about the SS. Nobody special here. All right. Nothing says confused. All right. Whatever. So let's put down our impulse. So what I'm going to do, so I don't have to go to the other side of the board there, is pull out my rifle squad, so I know that. Shock squad. Oh, this is pretty good. This gives you everything that you need. I'm going to put these over here so you guys can see them. Oh, you can't see them. Oh, why don't I turn off the stupid autofocus? Let me see if I can zoom in a little more. There we go. Save. Still have a lot of the old AH games. Yeah, so do I, Dennis. I got tons of them. Okay, so I put down VA-20 guards, and the rest are just tanks that we're not using this time. Alright, so basically, this is what you're going to see out there. Oh, HMG. I wonder if they have a card for that. Guess there's only one way to find out. Go through the cards. T-34, snipers, heavy machine gun. Nope. Alright, cool. Alright, the Russians. The Germans. And for this, I believe, it was Pioneer's Assault. Pioneers. And Assault. And machine guns. Assault. So these cards are really, really helpful, believe it or not. I think I'll put things on them, so it gives you everything, so you don't have to look up things. Huh. Very cool. Alright. Impulse. So the Germans get 3 impulses. Impulse dice. So that would be 6, 11, 14. Wow. So they would get 14. Now, I wonder if there's a different marker I can use. Oh, yeah, sure. For the Russians, I can just use 2 control markers. So we can keep it on the same side. Now they get 2 dice. Wow, they get 3. Well, that's easy. That's easy to know. They get 3 impulses. Wow, that's nasty. That's nasty. So you would roll initiative. Russians roll 4. Germans roll 4. Russians roll 3. Germans roll 5. So they get to go first. Wow. Wow, that's nasty. You just hear you could just hear the Russians dying already. Oh. All right, so let's take a look at this. Move that over there. All right, let's start with this unit. See if they are confused. What was it? I just rolled a 5, so I don't think they are confused. With 4 to 6, they behave as normal. So they're okay. They're okay. HMG, they're okay. The rifle, they're okay. Sergeant, he's confused. So we're going to turn them around that way. No, let's leave them there. And we'll put, what can we put on? We can put these reinforce tokens if they're confused. They're just basically blocked out. There we go. So you're confused. The rifleman, you're confused. And finally, the captain, they're okay. Oh man, that is a big old map. Nice. Yeah, it sure is. It's pretty cool looking. Alright, so you do that on every turn? Wow. At the beginning of every turn, each Russian occupied hex. Wow. So the Germans go first, which is ridiculous. Wow. Well, let's see how luck holds up. If we get any of those cards that we're not supposed to get. Oh, actually, if you just get one of those cards that you can't use, it's considered you're screwed. So, Russians, Germans. Let's see how luck works out. Again, I'm just trying to learn this game, so I hope you guys are being patient with this. I know it's not the best thing to watch in the world, but hey, it's better than going to sleep. Just figure if I get this down and make it easier on Justin, especially with Justin not feeling good. Kid is so sick. It's really sad. They're all sick. Alright, what do we have up there? Stonewall. The grades, LOS. Okay. Spotting. Alright, cover. All units, including vehicles, may attempt to improve their defensive position, even in a structure. Owning players spend an impulse point and roll 1d6. On a 5 or 6 is successful and the cover counter is placed in the hex. May be rolled for multiple times by the same unit in a turn. There's no limit of attempts. +1 defense to all units in a hex with cover. Okay. So you can attempt to get in cover. Mines, bunkers. Okay, so we don't even get to try some of this stuff. Terrain, hexes. Okay, so this explains all the hexes, what they do. Support weapons. Okay, these weapons are represented by, these are portable weapons used by the squad. So, for instance, I have an LMG. Has a max range of 8 and +2 firepower. Place the support weapon counter directly beneath the unit which it possesses. The support weapon firepower can be added to the squad to increase the FP for an attack. For example, a rifle squad using a light machine gun, LMG, for a total of 4. Rifle +2, LMG equals 6. Alright. LMG may be fired to its max range on its own, even if the unit firing is out of range. Okay. Satchel charges, grenade bundles, and Molotov cocktails are single use and removed once used. Okay. Satchel charges are special in that they attack all units in the target hex equally. The squad's FP is not added into the attack, but throwing the satchel counts as a firing action by a unit. For example, squad moves adjacent to a stack of enemy units and tosses the satchel into the hex. All units undergo an attack separately, using 10 as the FP. Firepower is always unmodified 10. Defender uses terrain modifiers. Check for structural collapse when using satchel charges with +1 modifier. Let's do the collapse roll. See structures. Oh, that's only in structures. Okay, I think we got this. No worries, you're doing great. Oh, thank you, guys. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. As you see, there's a lot to this. Okay, pioneers. They place smoke. Okay, pioneers, sappers are engineer squads. Engineers may place a smoke counter in their own or adjacent hex. This causes an impulse point and counts as a firing action. Engineers reveal mines. Engineers reveal mines are when moved onto. The unit does not undergo the attack. Engineers dismantle mines, wires, and roadblocks are as a firing action. Players spend an impulse point and declare the obstacle is being cleared. The engineer must remain in the hex and remain in good order until the end of the next turn. Obstacles are then removed. The engineers are the only unit allowed to use flamethrowers. Ooh, we get to use flamethrowers. I like flamethrowers. Squad. One casualty points. Okay, as casualties increase during the scenario, a player will take a penalty and will be able to do so. For every 5 casualty points suffered, that side loses 1 impulse point on the impulse. Wow, that is just ridiculous. Alright, so Germans have an initiative. So, pioneers can throw smoke, huh? Well, let's see. The pioneer, what do we got here? The bundled assault squad can move, has a movement of 4. So, moving D1, 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 defense. Oh, it tells you everything on this board. This board is really amazing because it really gives you kind of everything. But I'm just going to double check something because if I move into the forest, does it cost me anything to move into that forest? That is what I want to know. I think I should just keep this out just to be safe. Okay, woods. Costs 2 MP for foot, 3 MP bog roll. Oh, for track vehicles. Wheeled units cannot enter woods. +2 defense for units in hex. Okay. Okay, so it would be 1. Actually, it will cost an impulse point. 1, 2, 4. And then what would happen is this would go on top of here and be considered moved. Now, from the Russians, So let's just see how a full turn plays out here. We must have in here how to turn. Gameplay. Welcome to the map. Turn tracker. So an entire turn can take like a year. Right, gameplay. Limit actions. Units are limited to 2 actions per turn. Okay, I got it. But you can fire twice. Impulses. That's what I wanted to just check. Impulse. Oh, there we go. Welcome. Impulse. The impulse system. Players alternate from one player to another after the use of an impulse point or two. In general, an impulse. Okay, so I went, so that was one impulse. So now it would go back to the Russians, but the Russians only have 3 impulse. So if I'm the Russians, I probably would pass. Maybe take a shot with that. What's the range on this guy? That range is 3. 1, 2, 3. So if I'm the Russians, I'm going to take my turn. I'm going to use one of my impulses. And I'm going to fire my HMG. No, actually I'm going to fire my HMG and fire on this particular unit, even though they get +2 defense. So the defense, let's see. So how this would work is the firepower would be 3, the range is 10 on the HMG, the range is 3 on the shock troop. That's underneath. So it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have range. They're in the woods, so they get a +2 defense. So their defense is 3 plus 2 is 5. The attack is 5 plus 3 is 8. So we're going to use our fired modifier. So 8 subtract 3, so it's a +3 on the combat chart. Okay, so it's a +3. You can roll 2d6, and that's a 6. You come up to your chart to +3, and it is a broken. So this unit would be broken. But what did we read about? Oh, that a unit that is fired upon and is about to be broken that some stuff that they can roll because they're elite. I don't know what elite meant. Let me take a look at the card. Mortar attack. Launch it and mortar attack on an enemy. Target hex must be an LOS of any good order unit. See, that would have helped. Firepower 4, 2, accuracy 4. Yeah, and the Russians have satchel charge. You see, they need one of those. Can be used. It must be to an adjacent enemy. Okay, cool. So those are kind of nasty cards they can use. Okay, broken. Here we go. Has been severe and may not move or fire. Oh, now we have to roll a gut check. That's what it was. So we fired and we broke them. That's what it was. And now you roll the gut check. Any result shaken or broken on the infantry combat table requires the defending unit to roll 2d6 for a gut check. So, in the scenario book here, the gut check is a 6, so they need to roll a 6 or better, and it will not. Oh, how do you drop a dice? So they roll 7, so nothing happens to them. Wow, that's not cool. So that broken token does not even go on there. How about that? How about those apples? How about that bad luck? You only have 3 action points. You make a hit on something thinking, okay, maybe I can survive this. Well, guess what? You're in a world of hurt. See, he was shooting out of a force. Let's see if there was any modifier for that. This isn't hard. It's just getting the flow of it. So, force areas cost 2 movement points, plus 2 defense. Okay. Yeah, it seems simple enough. Okay, so on here is the complete flow of it. Turn markers, reinforcements, none. Attached leaders and weapons, we did. Smoke counters, none. Scenario rolls, took care of that. Free rally, bog rolls, we're alright. Impulse rolls, initiative rolls, we did that. Impulse rolls, play turn, yes, we did that. Melee phase, none. Remove unit markers, no. Victory, okay, so we're playing the turn. That's where we're at right now. Alright, so Russians are kind of in trouble here. So you could fire that 4 into there. Defense value, that would be 6. Attack power, 5 with a range of 4. But it would be 8. It's not worth it. They have a movement value of 3. That guy's already fired. He can fire again. If he fires again, then he's considered used. Modifiers, moving and firing. Okay, attached leader +1. Height advantage. Ambush. Shaken unit and melee. Leader casualty roll. No, we don't have to worry about that. Firepower modules. All right, I think this is pretty good. So they would use another impulse, and basically it would be a movement here. So their movement here is what do we got here? Assault squad. Assault squad has a movement of 4. So they go 1, 3 into the forest. The other guy here, no, that's be a movement point. Russians would pass because they'd want to see more of what's going on here, I think. So movement of assault has a movement of 4. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 in the clear hexes. And that would be, so what you would do is you would put these things on here that they moved. I wonder if the Russians would fire on them. Sure, would arrange 6 and 2 riflemen. Attack value of 6 into a defense value of 3. One, and drawing a line there would, that stone wall would get in the way, obviously. So let's see what kind of modifiers we get for that. Boy, I don't think Abby really likes this game. She fell asleep right in the middle of it. Oh, come on. This is the exciting part. Each unit has a number of movement points to be used. Okay. Okay, stone wall. Stone walls are sturdy brick walls. Construction degrades LOS. Trace a hex line, just as hedge lines, and the following guideline. +1 movement point, COT per foot. COT. COT. Why do we have to use all these words? COT, COT. Cost of terrain. Okay. 1 movement plus cost of terrain per foot. 3 boggle. Wow. +2 defense for units adjacent to and attacked across the stone wall. Okay, so there we go. I saw a Tactics 2 that is a reprint of this game, or a true sequel. I saw a Tactics 2. Is that a reprint of this game or a true sequel? I couldn't tell you. Tactic 2 is a very old game. This is new. So defense value of an assault squad is 3, +2 is 5, 6, so that's +1 because of all the modifiers. So if the Russians go and they use their impulse point, and they're going to fire, so we will put a fire marker on here. So it's +1. So it's +1, and we roll 2d6. Wow. That's an 11. So 11, but a +1 is unit destroyed. Wow. So that goes away. So on the casualty point marker, let's see how this will work out. They don't even get a save or anything. Okay, there was no leader with them, so that's fine. So we don't have to worry about that. Oh, here's all the terrain stuff right on the damn thing. Come on, Rob. So let's find out what degrading LOS does. Hold on, because I want to make sure that we can even make that shot. Sorry, this is really getting kind of dragged out. I'm really just kind of making sure that I take everything. And this is how I learn things, believe it or not. I take the time to just really go through it, and it just kind of putts along. And I know it seems boring. Sometimes Justin will come out here and go, yeah, Dad, whatever. I go, well, just sit down, you little punk, and learn it with me. Degraded LOS. Okay, here we go. Some terrain or battlefield hinders. LOS must be traced through 2 hexes of degrading. Any more and LOS is considered blocked. Okay, so that's 1. It's -1 to firepower for each degraded hex. Okay, that's interesting. We rolled a 11, so now if we degraded that, it would still be a 0. Unit still would be destroyed. Okay. So, full squad and crew weapon. Casualty points. So that is 2 points. So for the Russians, they got 2 points of casualties. We'll just put that there for the Germans. Actually, we can do this, just to keep it on our same thing. There we go, Russian. Sickle. So that was actually a good move for the Russians. I mean, taking that shot. Again, I probably wouldn't have done that, but again, we're just trying to feel out this game. So these guys are going to move, and they can move. Saul can move 4. So they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're hidden behind here. So they moved. These guys are gone. These guys can move 3. I think they're going to stay where they are. Okay, that was an impulse point to do that, by the way. Still got 11 impulse points. So we can move 3. Unless we really try to take out this one unit here. 1, 2, 3. That's a move. Try to force him to fire on you. And that's a defense of 4. Defense of 4. So the Russian unit is going to fire and this time be considered used. So they have attack power of 5, and the HMG, that's 8 against the defense of 4. So that makes them use up all their points. So that'd be -4, but they're shooting into a, no, they're shooting in an open square. Okay, so it's +4 on 2d6. It's a 5. So on a +4, on a 5, it is considered broken. But what the Germans have is 6 or better, and they got a 12. So there's no broken marker that goes on there. So it was a wasted attempt there. So now we're going to use another impulse point for the Germans, and the Germans are going to move forward. Let's pop a few more of these. We're going to move those other pioneers. So pioneers are going to move up 3. 1, 2, 3. Now because they're adjacent, they get a +1 attack. So it's moved. They have no more points. So now this goes up to 9 because we're going to use one. +1, and that's 3. +1 is 4 against the defense of 2. Oh God. Wait, shock unit. Defense of shock unit has a defense of 4. And 3 is 7 against attack of 3, so it's a -4. Is there a -4 on here? Okay. On 11, which would be broken. Now, here's the funny thing. See, boy, it figures I roll good by myself, right? So now the Russians have to beat a 9, get a 9, 10, or 11, or 12 to keep from being broken. And they get snake eyes. So that unit is actually broken. So they have fired. I wonder if there was another negative. There was a negative for moving. So on 11 still would have been broken. Moving fire. Leader attached. Is there a leader attached here? No. There's no leader there. Okay. So now that unit is broken. Can't move or fire. Huh. That's interesting. Alright. So we kind of almost went through a whole turn here. I think you get the gist of it. If I'm missing anything, let me know. It seems pretty simplified. It's pretty strategic, but you just follow the impulses. It's just one of those things that, you know, you can get chewed up and then all of a sudden tide of battle can completely turn. So it's a pretty interesting game. So I think we'll see how this all pans out. I think we'll probably reset this, and when Justin feels better tomorrow, we'll just go right at it. So I think I can explain everything to him pretty easily. Or maybe I'll just leave this and we'll keep on going tomorrow. We'll just see how it goes. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this hour and a half of shooting and maiming and watching the cat sleep for a while. So, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you saw something that we did wrong, leave it in the comments. But I think we kind of walked you through to see if this game was for you a little bit. Yeah, it's a little dragged out and boring, but the best thing to do is, you know, read the rules to everybody and make sure everybody understands what's going on and, you know, my interpretation of them. Well, with that said, I think at 11 o'clock I am going to call it a day, and maybe that Hallmark movie's over. Until next time, I'm Rob Warren. We'll see you soon.